What is on those tapes? I mean, we were told he had nothing to hide.
3, he didn't exert executive privilege over any contents of the report. He was transparent. He had nothing to hide.
Really? Well, as you know, Joe Biden was interviewed by Robert Hur, the special counsel, looking into his classified documents that he just left in his garage. The DOJ released only the transcripts of that interview to the House Oversight Committee, who have been asking for the audio as well this whole time, which they're refusing to give them. The White House just won't give it over. And now the House Judiciary Committee voted to advance contempt proceedings against AG Merrick Garland. Goes to the House now. The Biden administration, via the DOJ, saying that the House members' requests are, quote, plainly insufficient to outweigh the deleterious effects that production of the recordings would have on the integrity and effectiveness of similar law enforcement investigations in the future. What? No. Basically, we gave you the transcript and don't think you need anything else, go away. That's what the White House is saying. And the surrogates from the Biden campaign and the White House hit the airwaves to say, oh, it's just political. Why do you need the audio? Well, here's one reason.
Folks, imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
You very clearly heard him say, pause there. But what did the transcript say when the White House released it the next day? They said he was inaudible. Now, so excuse me for not trusting your transcript. The White House has been anything but transparent, especially when it comes to covering up the president's decline. Also, that's not how executive privilege works. Congressman Armstrong noted this today.
They don't get to determine what we get. That is not how the system works. And it can't be how the system works, because otherwise the people who you are trying to conduct oversight on determine what information you get to conduct that oversight.
In fact, the Supreme Court said this to Richard Nixon when he tried to pull a similar stunt in relation to Watergate. In 1974, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously against Nixon, with the Chief Justice saying that the president did not have absolute, unqualified privilege to withhold information like anything, just like this. What executive privilege is for, though, and this is according to the New York Times, that is no friend of mine, quote, it is a power claimed by the presidents under the Constitution to prevent the other 2 branches of government from gaining access to certain internal executive branch information, especially confidential communications involving the president or among his top aides. This is to protect the president's candid conversations with his aides, not the audio transcript from a special counsel investigation. But when it was used the way the New York Times just described it for Trump, what happened? Oh, yeah, that's right. They threw Peter Navarro in jail, and probably now Steve Bannon, too, because they didn't want to testify to candid conversations as senior aides to Trump in the illegitimate January 6th committee. I mean, yes, that's exactly what it's for, but now those guys are in jail. But now we're supposed to respect executive privilege again because it's Joe Biden. Noted. Congress, hold Merrick Garland in contempt. Because when Donald Trump gets back in office, he should subpoena all this information and then have all of these same people thrown in jail, just like they did to Peter Navarro and just like they're trying to do with Steve Bannon. That's how it works now, right? That's why the Democrats are freaking out about Trump, because they know that he's going to do this. Look, you made the rules, libs. We're just living by them, right? Oh, and by the way, it's not just Congress who wants all those tapes. It's the same people that called for all the Trump-Ukraine tapes as well. In fact, ABC, AP, Bloomberg, CBS, CNN, Wall Street Journal, NBC, Reuters, Washington Post, and even Univision are suing the DOJ under a FOIA request, the Freedom of Information Act, to get a hold of the same audio. Merrick Garland went running back to Biden just to cover this up. I mean, he wanted Biden to executive privilege over all this so he wouldn't be held in contempt. Too bad. He's willing to blatantly disregard the Constitution to protect his own you-know-what. But he's unwilling, Joe Biden is unwilling to use the same executive authority to protect us, to close the border under the same very constitutional power that he does have despite saying he doesn't. I know that because Trump used it. Check.